Yeah.
Welcome back to Lily's Viking adventure. In this episode, we delve into one of the most intriguing aspects of Norse spirituality and philosophy, the concept of Hamingja and its connection to the Norse understanding of the soul. Before we begin, thank you for joining us on this journey. If you want to support the channel, consider visiting our Etsy shop or donating through our Ko-fi page. Links are in the description. Now, let's explore this fascinating topic. In Norse paganism, the concept of Hamingja represents a unique and multifaceted component of the soul. Unlike modern interpretations of the soul as a singular entity, Norse beliefs depict the soul as a complex system comprising several distinct parts. Among these, the Hamingja stands out as a symbol of personal fortune, honor, and spiritual power. Scholars often describe Hamingja as a transferable essence, one that could be passed down through generations or shared with others, deeply intertwining personal fortune with familial and ancestral legacy. In Children of Ash and Elm, Neil Price elaborates on this, explaining that Hamingja could be strengthened by the deeds and reputations of one's ancestors, creating a cumulative force that benefited descendants. Mechanisms for this inheritance are vividly depicted in sagas such as Egil's Saga, where the actions and successes of forebears were believed to imbue their lineage with enhanced spiritual power and prestige. Rituals such as funerary rites, often symbolize the passing of Hamingja to the next generation, solidifying the bond between the living and the deceased within a family, making it an integral part of one's familial and social identity. To understand Hamingja, we must first recognize the interconnectedness of Norse cosmology and social structures. In Norse belief, cosmology was not merely a mythological framework, but a reflection of societal values and relationships. The Hamingja was deeply embedded in this framework, acting as a bridge between the individual's spiritual essence and their societal role. Neil Price, in Children of Ash and Elm, notes that the Norse saw their world as a network of interdependencies, where spiritual power and social standing were inextricably linked. This relationship illustrates how Hamingja was both a personal attribute and a communal resource, strengthening bonds within families and communities. By fulfilling one's duties and living honorably, an individual could enhance their Hamingja, which in turn contributed to the collective well-being of their kin and society at large. The Hamingja was not only seen as a personal attribute, but also as a reflection of one's deeds, relationships, and alignment with the will of the gods. Scholar Rudolf Simek explains, the Hamingja was conceived as a kind of personal luck or fortune that was not innate, but rather earned and could be increased or decreased depending on the individual's actions and the favor of supernatural forces. This perspective highlights how deeply ingrained the Hamingja was in the moral and spiritual framework of Norse society. Central to the Hamingja is its role as both a personal and collective force. It was believed that a person with strong Hamingja could positively influence their family and descendants. This transference of Hamingja often occurred through inheritance or in moments of significant ritual importance. For example, during ceremonies such as weddings, oaths, or funerary rites, the Hamingja of an individual could be ritually shared, strengthening bonds and ensuring the prosperity of the lineage. One of the most fascinating aspects of Hamingja is its relationship to fate, or wired. The Norse believed that while fate was often predetermined, the strength of one's Hamingja could influence outcomes within the boundaries of that fate. This interplay is evident in many sagas and myths, where heroes are often depicted as possessing extraordinary Hamingja that allows them to achieve seemingly impossible feats. In Gisla Saga Sursunar, for instance, Gisli's actions demonstrate his immense Hamingja, which enables him to protect his family despite overwhelming odds. The Hamingja was also closely tied to the Fylgja, another aspect of the Norse soul. The Fylgja served as a spiritual companion, often envisioned as an animal, reflecting the individual's character, destiny, or spiritual condition. The forms of the Fylgja were diverse, ranging from wolves and bears, symbolizing strength and courage, to birds, representing wisdom and foresight. Neil Price in Children of Ash and Elm notes, the Fylgja was an intimate extension of one's soul, its vitality ebbing and flowing with the individual's fortune and moral standing. For instance, in the saga Hrafnkoll's Saga Freysgodi, the protagonist's connection to his Fylgja is illustrated through visions of animals that guide and warn him. Typically, a person had only one Fylgja, though its behavior and form could shift, reflecting their spiritual state. A vibrant and active Fylgja signified strong Hamingja, offering protection and guidance. Conversely, if the Hamingja waned, the Fylgja might become weakened or even disappear, leaving the individual vulnerable to misfortune. This deep relationship underscores the interconnected nature of the Norse soul and its spiritual framework. The Fylgja was often envisioned as a guardian spirit or animal companion that reflected the individual's spiritual state. In Norse belief, the Fylgja could take various forms, often appearing as an animal that symbolized the character or fate of the individual it accompanied. Common forms included wolves, foxes, and birds, with each form carrying specific symbolic meanings. For example, a wolf might indicate strength and leadership, while a bird could suggest a connection to spiritual realms or foresight. In some sagas, the Fylgja could also appear as a humanoid figure, sometimes representing a deceased ancestor or a projection of the individual's soul. Neil Price in Children of Ash and Elm describes the Fylgja as a deeply personal and multifaceted spiritual companion that was both protective and indicative of the person's inner essence. Furthermore, an individual typically had only one Fylgja, though its presence could shift in strength and vibrancy, depending on the state of the person's Hamingja. This intimate connection made the Fylgja an essential aspect of the Norse understanding of identity and destiny. When one's Hamingja was strong, the Fylgja was believed to be vibrant and powerful, providing guidance and protection. Conversely, a weakened Hamingja could manifest in a diminished or even absent Fylgja, leaving the individual vulnerable to misfortune. It's important to note that the Hamingja was not solely a spiritual concept. It had practical implications in daily life. A person's Hamingja was often judged by their community based on their honor, reputation, and ability to fulfill societal roles. This connection between Hamingja and social standing underscores its dual nature as both a mystical force and a tangible measure of one's success and influence. Modern scholars have drawn comparisons between the Norse concept of Hamingja and similar ideas in other cultures. Neil Price in Children of Ash and Elm elaborates that the essence of Hamingja as a transferable and communal force finds parallels in traditions worldwide where spiritual power and fortune are closely tied to community and lineage. He further notes that this concept echoes in the Polynesian understanding of mana, where power and prestige are inherited and augmented through actions, drawing striking cultural parallels. Similarly, the Polynesian concept of mana, a powerful essence that can be inherited and augmented, has often been cited as a comparable idea, highlighting how diverse cultures have grappled with the relationship between individual destiny and collective legacy. For instance, the concept of mana in Polynesian traditions shares the notion of a transferable, powerful essence tied to personal and communal well-being. These parallels suggest that the Norse understanding of Hamingja reflects a broader human tendency to conceptualize fortune and spiritual power as interconnected forces that shape both individual and collective destinies. In conclusion, the concept of Hamingja offers a profound insight into Norse spirituality and its emphasis on the interconnectedness of the soul, community, and the divine. Through this lens, we see a culture deeply attuned to the interplay of personal action, ancestral legacy, and cosmic forces. As we continue to explore Norse beliefs and practices, let's reflect on the enduring wisdom of Hamingja and its relevance in understanding the human experience. Thank you for watching Lily's Viking adventure. Don't forget to snuggle up to the like button and subscribe for more content. Check the description for links to our sources, Etsy shop, and Ko-fi page. We'll see you next time for another journey into the rich and fascinating world of Norse history and mythology.